Week 4 waivers, flawless fantasy football. What's cracking, everybody? Hope everybody doing good. Hey, look, man, listen. 1-2, 2-1, 3-0, 0-3. You gotta keep pressing. Gotta keep pressing. Pick your head up, throw your shoulders back. I mean, it's the time. It's this important time of the year where if you have a losing record, you want to basically fall on your sword. You know, you want to fall on your swords and go down with the guys that you value. So, vice saying, oh, okay, and sometimes you just got to take a leap of faith, you know? So, hey, check it out, guys. Stay positive. It don't matter if you're flying high or if you're flying low. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's a marathon, not a sprint, all right? So, let's get into it with Week 4 waivers. Tomorrow's show will be the transparency, accountability video for yours truly here at Flawless with my 2 leagues, my work league going postal and the Flawless Fantasy Football Listener League. So that'll be next video. But tonight, I just want to keep it strictly about the waivers. We're going to jump right into it, all right? Okay, now let's just start with the quarterbacks. We're going to start with the quarterbacks. CJ Stroud, man, he has been balling. It looks like he is for real. He scored 17 points week 1, 27 week 2, and then followed with another 26. Him throwing the ball with Nico Collins and Tank Dell. And, you know, listen, I just believe, and what a solid defense over there too, might I add. Look, man, they balling over there. And CJ Stroud feel like he seemed like he was the best rookie quarterback in the draft right now, if you ask me. He's acting like it. And for the next 3 weeks, you know, they got the Steelers this coming week, Falcons, and then the Saints before their bye. But CJ Stroud is looking poised, so if you need a quarterback waivers, he's somebody you could consider. Number 2, he was been on the list a little bit already, is Jordan Love. Now, if he's still out there, you need somebody, Jordan Love can be a nice add. He plays this Thursday night. I think Jordan Love's actually like quarterback 5 on the year. Maybe even 4, all depending what your format is. 26 points, 23 points, and 28 points. And, you know, you'll probably be better, you know, once the other weapons get back there. So, Christian Watson, Glass behind, you know, so we'll see what happens. But he's actually playing, he's playing on top of the moon right now, man. Oh, yeah, he's playing his, I don't know if I can say he's playing his best, man, but he's definitely doing his due. Quarterback number 5 overall, man. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? So, his next 2 games are Lions, Raiders before his bye. And the number 3 quarterback here. Listen, I got to put him on. I got to give my dog some shine. I got to give some shine. Number 3 is Mr. Crab Legs. Mr. Crab Legs himself, Jameis Winston. You know, he came in for relief, with some relief work there. With Carr went down. He went 10 for 16 for 101 yards. And this coming week 4, he actually playing against a revenge game at New Orleans against the Bucks. So, hey, he might have to show the Bucks a little something. And, you know, I feel good about that because, you know, hell, freaking Olave has like 300-some yards receiving, but they don't have a touchdown. But I feel he'll get one this coming week because Jameis is going to throw the crab leg juice out that ball. The crab leg juice out that ball. So I'm putting Jameis Winston on the list because guess what? Somebody's got to give him love. And here at Flawless Fantasy Football, I'll be the one to do it. So week 4 waiver quarterbacks are CJ Stroud, Jordan Love, and Jameis Winston. Come on, eat them W's, Jameson. Come on, you got a chance. You almost had it last week, stupid doggone kicker. That's all right, though. That's all right. Start to finish this time, James. You can do it. All right, now let's go to running backs. Running backs, listen, all depends if you're in a 12-man league. This guy's probably already rostered, but if not, he might not be. But Mr. Devin A. Well, some people say he's not supposed to call him H-on. But guess what? I don't call people by their right names here on this channel. Somebody need to go ask Desiree, Katrina, Metcalf, what his name is on this channel. So you're gonna be Devon A-Chain around here, but he had a 50-point performance, man. I'm telling you, 19 out of 20 people that had him on roster had him on the bench. I'm certain. But he had a 50-point performance, half-point PPR, 203 rush yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 receiving touchdowns. My goodness, but let's see if it's for real or if it was just a one-offer, because he plays Bills this week, then Giants and Panthers before playing the Eagles again. So if he can show something during the Bills, that Giants and Panthers at the week 5 and 6 are going to be crazy. So A-Chain is the number 1 pickup. Hopefully it's for real. But again, he's not going to be the starter, because Moses is the starter. And you're not just going to be able to run the ball down people's throat. A lot of that was probably game plan dependent too, because Waddle wasn't playing. So it's just Tyree. Tyree got his touchdown off rip, and they just ran down Denver's freaking throat. They put it all the way in Denver's throat. Denver had no choice but to show their gag reflexes. Had to. And it seemed like they were liking it because they kept getting ran through the whole time through. They should have won. They should have actually took the record. You know what I'm saying? At 72. But I feel as if that was an understanding with the owners, though. They ain't trying to really embarrass each other like that. The 70 was enough. Because let's be honest, those owners are in a fraternity. They're a fraternity of brothers any damn way. So, but David, Mr. A-Chain, man, 50 points. That's good for him, man. I'm happy for him. If I had to bet on it, I wouldn't expect it to happen again. But in your deeper leagues, hey, maybe you want to play him. I don't know. All depends who you on your roster. Now, there's not much out there for running backs this week, which is good. I mean, nobody ain't get hurt and stuff like that, But I'm going to do an honorable mention here. He's not rostered. I mean, in some leagues, he might be still in non-competitive leagues. He might still be unrostered. But I'm going to mention this for a reason. And even though, like I say, majority of leagues, he's already rostered, okay? But I'm mentioning Zach Moss. And I'm mentioning it because of this. Zach Moss, since he came back, and then week 2 and 3, he's had 20 points and 24 points, respectively, in those 2 weeks. The dude got 30 carries for 122 yards and had a couple of receptions for 33 yards and a touch. Let me tell you something. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Jonathan Taylor. Him and Kupp. I mean, we've seen the best of these guys. Hey, look, I've been saying this for the longest. If I was an owner of some underwhelming running back, I'd try to go out there and acquire Zach Moss. Maybe I put a running back with a wide receiver and go out there and try to get Moss. Because the way he's been playing, who knows, man? Jonathan Taylor might get traded. And that person might be afraid that the Zach Moss owner might be afraid that Jonathan Taylor's coming back and might want to get rid of him. So if you got a running back that that's okay and doing okay, and then you add a nice wide receiver to it, I ain't got to buy it ain't got to be a wide receiver 1, but something. It could be a high-end wide receiver 2 or somebody that's producing. And if you have depth at wide receiver and you need that depth at running back, go out there and try to acquire Zach Moss, man. Because he's going to get the volume in. I just don't see Jonathan Taylor coming back and being something. If so, he's going to come back and get hurt again. That's my opinion. So make him a trade target. I would. So the 2 running backs for week 4 waivers are Devon A-Chain and Zach Moss. All right, let's go to wide receivers. Now, obviously, Nico Collins and Tank Dell were on the list for last week, and Tank Dell showed the hell out. Showed out. He's acting like he's the number 1 over there in Houston, but man, that dude's awesome, and I believe he's going to continue to play well. He's going to continue to play well, and he has a rapport with the quarterback, and the dude's just dynamic. So I'm happy for him. Tank Dell is the number one wide receiver. I'm not going to mention Nico Collins because majority of the times he's actually got to be more rostered than Tank Dell, but either way, the two go hand in hand. You never who's going to be the best each week, but here's the thing. It's a small pie there. The ball essentially only get thrown to those two. It's almost like Rams, where it just get thrown to, Puka and Tutu. It's that type of thing. So, Tank Dell, pick him up if he's there. Now, begrudgingly, I gotta say this, but hey, the dude's balling out, and here's the thing. Balling out for now. He had this huge game, but he had a veteran throwing on the rock this time, and we're not the rookie quarterback. But Adam Thielen is a wide receiver 1 right now, top 12. Hey, get it while the getting is good. Like Too Short say, get it while the getting is good. And get it while the getting is good. I don't know if y'all know that song. But yeah, Adam Thielen, he too got a revenge game coming up. He got a revenge game coming up too because he's playing against he went 11 for 145 in a TD on 14 targets against Seattle, but he plays against the Vikings. And, this coming week. He had a slow week 1. He had 2 points, then 17, and then 26 half-point PPR points. But then, man, he scored 26 this past week. But he plays the Vikings this week, and he would hope that the rookie quarterback is not playing, so he can have a veteran still throwing the ball. But I think he'll be productive. He definitely won't throw a goose head up there playing against his old team against the Vikings. So Adam Thielen is my number 2. If you need that, put up 26 points last week. Number 3, I'm gonna put these two guys together: Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson. With the unfortunate laydown of Mike Williams. We all know Mike Williams, man. I love Mike Williams. I got a Mike Williams t-shirt. Y'all saw that t-shirt for last year, one of the guys I liked before he laid it down. He's just glass, man. Certain people are just glass. God, certain people are just glass. I know people want to be like, oh, you can't predict injuries. And I said Mike Williams going to be cool until he glass out. And, he's going to glass out. Certain people just aren't built to stay upright. And unfortunately, that's how it is, guys. It's the nature of the beast. Now, Keenan Allen is, still the number 1. Hey, he'll be fine too, but gosh, man, I hate to even say this because people don't start crying, but I don't care. This is my damn channel. Keenan Allen, you next. You next. Chances are he's next. He can't be getting that type of volume and then don't lay down. He ain't built for that either. But hopefully he stays up for the quarterback's sake. Shit, man. Quarterback, he's doing his thing too. What, top quarterback, top 1 or 2. That new guy came over and he throwing him, and he had all his weapons. Here's what's key though, and this is what had me hating on old boy, because quarterback for Chargers, old boy Herbert, I'm digressing a little bit. It's because they ran the ball in so much last year, running the ball in for the 1, 2, 5. But now, since some magically Eckler's hurt after wanting more money and a new contract. Wink, wink, sure. But now they just throwing the rock. They on the 1 yard line, not punching in, throwing it to Parham. Yeah, when all those were runs last year. So good for Herbert. Good for Herbert. But he's gonna need old boy to stay up. Because if he go down next, that means he'll just be throwing the ball to a rookie and Josh Palmer. And I don't think things will be the same for him. But I wish the best for him. Let's go. So Josh Palmer and Quentin Johnson. All depends. If you want more points now, I would go Josh Palmer. If you're waiting for a long term upswing, type of thing, I would go with Quentin Johnson. But either way, those two are, let's say long term, you know what I'm saying? Later on in the year, ceiling, Quentin Johnson is more like the play to me. We already know what Josh Palmer is. But who knows? He might be able to last the whole year and be in the number 2. So he showed what he can do. I do think that Quentin Johnson's going to get in and get some run, though. So at number 4, I'm going to go Romeo Dobbs. It's just like, man, he went 16.6. Then had a game 4 and 4 with a 4-point game week 2. Then came back with 15 and a half-point PPR points. Now he played the Lions on week 4 here on Thursday night. Got to see if Aaron Jones, and Glass boy Christian Watson come back. But they have a bye coming up as well. They, they play the Lions and then the Raiders before they bye. But we'll see what's up. It's just they don't never get it like a lot of targets, and I don't think he had a lot of targets like that. But he made the most of them. And he is the number 1 over there. And like, soon as you invest in him, then freaking Reed will do something. You know what I'm saying? And then, Dobbs will give you a nice 4. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of, I don't know what the hell. Sometimes you just got to put them in there and just take what they give you if that's you're in the business of that. But the wide receivers for Flawless Fantasy Football Waiver Week 4 are Tank Dell, Adam Thielen, Josh Palmer / Quentin Johnson, and Romeo Dobbs. All right. And let's bounce to the tight ends. Real quick. Look, this is pretty simple here. Okay, guys? It's 3 tight ends. It's Sam Laporta. Sam Laporta snapped. He had his breakout game. 84 yards and a touchdown. Man, the dude did awesome. 18.4 half-point PPR points. He was started in the Flawless League by Scottish Sleepers. So that was a good call on Scotty's part. But here's the thing. I don't know if that was because the game plan, Montgomery was out or they didn't want to put too much on Gibbs because, what's supposed to happen with Gibbs? Oh, Gibbs, right? People pick him in the 3rd round, Gibbs. All right. But okay, enough of that. And Josh Reynolds actually had a groin issue. You know what I'm saying? So he screwed me in one of my leagues, but screwed me but didn't screw me. You'll hear about that on the next video. But so a lot of that was just going to Amon-Ra and Sam Laporta. So yeah, but he snapped. Sam Laporta for the Lions. Next up is let's go. Who gonna put him? I'm gonna go ahead and put Luke Musgrave number 2. Look, he's been steady Eddie. 6.5, 3.5, and 7.9 each of the first 3 weeks. He's had 4 targets, 3 targets, then 8 targets. He hasn't had any TDs. And he plays against the Lions, Raiders before their bye. He's just been steady Eddie. Eventually got to score soon, but he's been holding it down. Averaging, like I say, he had 2 games over 6.5 points. So in this freaking wasteland of tight ends, and if you're just getting low points from somebody, you can easily get Musgrave and take what he gives you if you're into that. Number 3 is Donald Parham. I always liked Donald Parham when he came in, but it's almost like they're making him earn it. First, he was glass a little bit. I don't know if y'all remember. He's always getting hurt. That's why, Everett was trying to shine a little bit before he fall off because he's aged out. But they want to give it to Parham. I'm sure Everett won't be there next year. But he scored. I'm telling you, when you look up Donald Parham in dictionary or in the encyclopedia, if people still use encyclopedias, do those damn things still exist? You gotta. If you look up Donald Parham, you will see it. It says TD dependent like a mug because he's got 3 touchdowns and all of them been like goal line receptions. Week 1 he had 9.7. Maybe that was a little bit more out. And then 9.7, he caught a touchdown week 1. Then he had a 1.2. Then he came back this past week on week 3, had 13.4. He's not getting no more than 2 or 3 targets a game. I think he's had like 8 targets on the year. Like 3, 2, and 3. So, but with Mike Williams going down, his targets may go up. And if they bump up to 5, maybe even 6, that's probably stretching it. But if they bump up to 5, showing how they operate with him around the goal line and not running it in, he could probably snap, bump up to around about 50 yards in a touchdown. All right. So Donald Parham is somebody you can look at if you're into taking a shot. So the tight ends are Sam Laporta, Luke Musgrave, and Donald Parham. Let's bounce to the defenses, man. Defenses, a lot of streaming defensive options out there this week. A lot of streaming defense options. So let's start with Cincinnati at Tennessee. They have great options. I'm going to be honest with you, man. Sometimes when you look at these, I got to gripe about something too at the end, so don't make sure you hear it all the way through. Cincinnati, I was watching the game last night, and you should have known that they wasn't going to allow Cincinnati to go 0-3. I just didn't believe that. And all of a sudden, okay, they get the lead and this and that. And it's like they wasn't throwing it to Puka like they're supposed to and stuff like that. And old boy was throwing the ball all out of bounds, even on screen plays. Stafford, I'm like, man, what a freaking circus. They sacked Stafford like 6-7 times or something like that. Cincinnati, now they're going to playing against Tennessee, so that's probably going to be a good play. Colts defense playing against the Rams, so Colts got a great defense as well, very good defense, and they playing against the Rams, so they'll probably go in there and thump them. Colts are at home, and if they play as well as they played before, they probably have a nice little time with the Rams. Vikings, not a great defense, but they're playing against the Panthers. It's a game they should win. I believe they will win. And hopefully they can keep the opponent at 17 or something like that, maybe get a defensive score. New Orleans playing at Bucks. They playing at home against the Buccaneers. New Orleans always a great play. And the Texans are playing at home against the Steelers. There's nothing I respect about the Steelers' offense. And the Texans are, I don't want to say they're underrated defense, man. That defense looks good. And if you could do what they did to Jacksonville and up under DeMeco Ryans, I love that. So the defenses are Cincinnati, Colts, Vikings, New Orleans, and Texans. And all right, so let me tell you something real quick, right? I made some bets the other day, right? It's just two $10 bets that I do at like a halftime of the Monday night game that was a Monday night game, right? Yeah. So I did my bets, right? And normally I was gonna make my bets for the game that I was watching, which was the Rams game, the Rams and Cincinnati game. But I kept looking at the underdog, and I was like, oh man, you kind of jump on, you be like, oh. I'm just throwing numbers out there. It was like, what's that dude name? Mike Evans, like over 64 yards. I'm just throwing a number out there. Over 64 yards, and he's already at 60. You know what I'm saying, or whatever, and there's still 9 minutes to go. Oh man, so I clicked over. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. And then Godwin was like, 63, and he had he probably had a minute. You know what I'm saying? It was like he only need like 3 more yards or something. There was like 9 minutes left. I checked Google. I was like, okay, dang, what's up? I said, okay, boom, boom, boom. And then I did another bet that for the opposite team, because you got to bet you got to put 2 different teams on there. So I submitted it real quick before they tried to change it. It was only $10 bet. Lo and behold, that's all I was asking for. They said had to get was like 4. One had to get like 3 yards, and one had to get 4. And they already was up. And it was like 9 minutes left in the game in the fourth quarter between the Eagles and Tampa Bay. And just so happened that Eagles held the ball all that time and closed out the game. If you're not telling me that they put those betting lines out there on purpose to get people, because it looks like a no-brainer. You're telling me they're going to be down big and Godwin and Evans are not going to get 3 or 4 yards apiece? And get that over bet? Get that bet for the over? You know how much money they won on that? They only got me for 10. But I was like, you can't tell me that this thing isn't freaking rigged. That if it's about betting and stuff like that. They put the line where it was so cute, saying that these 2 wide receivers needed a 3 or 4 yards for the rest of the quarter. And it was 9 minutes left. Who's not going to take that? And just so happened, Philly held the ball the whole time through it, closed the game out. Man, NFL is freaking rigged, and if anybody don't fucking believe it, I'm trying to tell you, they close-minded as hell. I'm telling you, close-minded as hell. I don't know how many times I got to freaking show certain things. And there was another thing, too. Last night, it was some dude, I want to say, he wasn't on Cincinnati, he was on Rams. And he was walking to the sideline, he fell down on the, he kind of like fell on his butt like he had a cramp or something. I don't know if y'all saw that, right? And then, he's down there for like 10 seconds, and then he kind of hopped up or whatever, and he walked normally, because he was only like 5 feet away from the freaking sideline, and then walked back, he ain't had no limp or nothing like that, walking with a cramp, and he took his helmet off. And when he took his helmet off, he reached in with his left finger, left finger, in his left ear, and he pulled out something out of his ear. And then they panned away from him. But to me, it looked like he's took like a microphone out of his ear. Now I know they have some type of stuff, that headsets and stuff that be in the helmet, but the piece that's in the ear, I thought it was very weird, and it was suspect. Somebody else said, "Oh yeah," one other person I saw, my boy Harris, he actually said that he saw it. He said, "Yeah, I saw that. It looked weird." And I was like, "Yeah, he looked weird for a reason." That's because I feel like they told him to get down. I don't know, for whatever reason. Because it looked odd. And it don't look odd for a reason. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Flawless Fantasy Football. Add and drop accordingly. Stay positive, guys. Put your best guys in. Fall down on your sword if need be. But look, man, I'm going to tell you something. It's in Fly Like an Eagle. It was a guy that was at, I think he was like week 5. He was at the bottom week 5. And this was like, you had to it went by wins and losses all the way through week 17. He was at the bottom week 5. At the bottom of a 12-man league. Came back and won the league by one game. It's happened. I think he won all out except maybe 1 or maybe 2 games. I think, maybe 1. Hey, because that's all you got to do is beat the guy in front of you. In this situation, you must got to make it all the way to the top, because that was just an all the way through play at the top. It wasn't a Fly Like an Eagle wasn't a playoff. It's like, nah, you're not going to get lucky being in 5th or 6th place and get a chance to win. No, the person that's not top is going to win. But nevertheless, that's all you got to do in these other leagues is, be the top 6. For the most part, and you get into the playoffs. So, man, don't be all like sulking and stuff like that, man. Put your guys in if we can have some conviction, high level of conviction, right? Just like the draft. Flawless Fantasy Football, where you hear what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Hope you guys have a good waiver. I'll see you in the next video. Transparency video coming up soon. Peace. Holla at your boy.